All right, if you're gearing up for the CAPM exam, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Some topics are just, well, they're tough. And one of the biggest ones we see people struggle with, it's task management and adaptive projects. So today, we're giving you a special preview from us here at Exam Coaches. We're going to show you a totally different way to look at those tricky exam questions. So let's just let that sink in for a second. In adaptive projects, not every task carries equal weight. This is the absolute core truth you have to get your head around. In the world of adaptive projects, it's all about moving fast, right? Some tasks are just, little stepping stones, but others, they're huge leaps forward. And the real trick, especially when you're sitting in that exam, is figuring out the difference. And that's exactly what the CAPM exam is going to test you on. It's not going to ask you to spit back definitions from a textbook. No way. It's going to test your ability to make the right call when the pressure is on. So in this quick explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the exam coach's framework that teaches you exactly how to think, not just what to know. All right, Section 1, the Adaptive Project Challenge. And the subtitle here really says it all, from knowing the terms to answering the questions. Because let's be honest, that's the real hurdle, isn't it? It's that massive gap between, okay, I know what that word means, and actually getting a tricky scenario question right on the exam. So let's see, does any of this ring a bell for you? Like trying to figure out what done really means for a task, or that moment when you're staring at a list of things to do and you have no idea what the team should tackle next to actually make a difference? Yeah, these aren't just random struggles. These are the exact spots the CAPM exam is designed to test you on. And this right here is the heart of the matter. You can have a whole library of Agile terms memorized, but if you can't take those terms and apply them to a messy real-world scenario, well, you're just guessing. And trust me, guessing is not a strategy you want to rely on for the CAPM. Okay, so on to our next section. First, define success. Here's where we see the exam coach's framework in action. So how do we solve this problem of just guessing? Well, at Exam Coaches, we build a decision-making framework. And step 1 is super simple, but absolutely critical. You have to learn how to define what success actually looks like for any given task. So what are we talking about here? Success criteria. It's all about being specific, measurable, and relevant. Look, success isn't just a vibe, right? It's a checklist. For a task to be truly done, you need to hit these very clear, measurable points. Let me give you an example. Saying code the login button, that's just a task. But saying the login button is coded, it passes all the automated tests, and it's been approved by the product owner, now that is a solid success criterion. You see the difference? It's huge. All right, let's put this to the test. Here's a little mini scenario for you, the kind of thing you'll see on the exam. So a user story is coded. It works, but it hasn't been verified against its acceptance criteria. So what's the call? Can you mark this task as successful? Is it actually done? And here is how the exam coach's thinking process kicks in. It's not magic, it's a system. It's about having a repeatable process in your head. First, you just recall the definition. Success means meeting all the conditions. Second, you check the facts. Hey, acceptance criteria are a key condition, right? And third, you make the decision. The task is not successful until it's verified. Boom. Following that logic, the answer is clear. It's simple, it's repeatable, and best of all, it's going to get you the right answer every time. Okay, next up. Prioritize for value. And I love this subtitle, making the right call under pressure. Because once you know how to tell if something is done, the very next question is, what should we even do? This part is all about making sure every single thing your team works on delivers the absolute most bang for the buck. Now, at Exam Coaches, we focus on real-world methods, and a classic one is value versus effort. The idea is incredibly simple, but so powerful. You're basically asking two questions. How much value does this bring, and how hard is it to do? Because you're not just looking for easy tasks, and you're not just looking for valuable tasks. You're hunting for that sweet spot, the high-value, low-effort items. Why? Because those are the quick wins that get everyone excited and build momentum. So let's try it out. Here's another classic exam-style question for you. You've got a backlog just packed with awesome ideas for the next sprint. The catch? Your resources are limited. The team can't do it all. So as the project manager, what do you tell them to prioritize? How do you make sure they work on the one thing that will deliver the most value? And guess what? We use the exact same thinking process again. It's a framework. First, you assess the value. Which of these tasks is going to make the stakeholders happiest? Which one solves a huge problem? Second, you estimate the effort. How quick is this? Is it a one-day job or a two-week monster? And then you make the decision. It's simple. You always prioritize the high-value, low-effort item first. This isn't about gut feelings. It's a logical process that leads you straight to the right answer. All right, final section. Ace your exam scenarios. Let's really connect the dots here. How does all of this actually help you on exam day? Why is this simple, structured way of thinking so important for passing the CAPM? Well, it's because this isn't just some random exam trick. This is the absolute soul of adaptive project management. I mean, the whole reason we work in sprints or iterations is to deliver real, meaningful value cycle after cycle. And your ability to do that, to define success and prioritize for value, that's the engine that makes the whole thing work. And this really is the key thing I want you to take away today. What we do at Exam Coaches isn't about dumping a bunch of facts on you to memorize. No, we train you to recognize the patterns, to see a complex exam question, instantly see the pattern, apply the mental framework we just talked about, and land on the right decision every single time. Okay, get the full framework, your path to CAPM success. Look, what we've walked through today, this is just a tiny little preview. It's just a glimpse of the complete, comprehensive framework we've built at Exam Coaches. And it's all designed for one single purpose, to make sure you walk into that exam feeling totally, 100% confident. And I want to leave you with this thought. Because on the CAPM exam, knowing which tasks matter most can quickly lead to the correct answer. Seriously, just think about that. When you're sitting there looking at a question with 4 answers that all sound pretty good, being able to cut through the noise and see what really matters, that is your superpower. That's your shortcut to the right answer. So yeah, this was just a quick peek into the Exam Coaches method. The entire in-depth framework for task management in adaptive projects, and honestly, for every other topic on the CAPM exam. It's all inside, waiting for you. So it's time to stop memorizing facts and start learning how to actually think like a certified project manager.